kire-kai is a basic and essential exercise, right? Yes. But it has to be a big movement. There's the 4 steps of a kire-kai. Is big swings. I think the second one has to be strong strikes. Then it has to be fast, and then it has to be smooth. Gradings are about showing you understand the criteria of what's required, and the criteria for 4th dan is showing you understand that Kendo isn't about random hitting or just hitting by yourself. It's about interacting with your partner. Hi folks, it's Andy. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In this series, we take some footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in. We watch it together. I give you some feedback, and hopefully we all learn something. We're going to get to it in just a minute. We've got a couple of videos to look at. Today we've got a 4th dan test, and we've got some Jigeiko to look at. We're going to jump to them in just a minute, but before we do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, satisfy the YouTube ninjas. They will go out and increase the Kendo population, but you do have to make sure that you follow the right steps in order to get them to do their job, all right? That's like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below using the word Kendo. What a great Kendo channel. Best Kendo video I've ever seen. Words to that effect, okay? And then we'll make sure that the ninjas definitely get people starting Kendo, and instead we don't end up with them starting, I don't know, like surfing or something like that. Nothing wrong with surfing, but it's not as good as Kendo, all right? Heard it here first, folks. So, one last thing before we jump into that. If you like the channel, if you like the content that I put out free of charge, completely free of charge, there's no subscriptions, no memberships, you don't have to pay for subtitles. It's all free. And it's a real win-win, because to support it, all you got to do is shop at KendoStar.com, which is the best Kendo equipment website in the galaxy, universe, megaverse, multiverse, miniverse, microverse, macroverse, all the verses, all right? Everywhere, all the time, all at once. KendoStar is the best. Now, I would say that because I own the place, but everybody agrees with me. Don't buy twice. Don't buy twice. Buy right first time round. Shop at KendoStar. It's an established brand. We're not middlemen drop shipping you from Japanese companies and stuff like that. We've got imported series, so you can buy Japanese, brands through us, or you can buy from our established lineup that's designed specifically for the international community. Full team of staff ready to serve you. Great products, great service. KendoStar's the best. You know it's true. Shop there. Right, okay. Okay. I've almost lost this cough as well. Almost. Right, let's get to these videos. Okay, so this says a couple things to know. I'm getting a knee replacement in the next few weeks, so I'm unable to do Songkyo, which is why I took the knee. My first match, neither one of us passed, and the second match, my fellow tester did pass. I am number 120. Let's have a look. I feel it's important to value yourself. Important to be honest with yourself when evaluating. I've been focusing on slowing down and really trying to get a reaction before the attack. I feel like after watching this I got that, however I might be focused too much on that and miss the other parts. I feel like I missed most of my strikes because I was too close most of the time and maybe a bit too late. The other thing I feel I missed was Zanshin. I think this was the biggest problem and evident in my second match. I'd love to know if I'm correct in my thinking or off base. While failing is never easy, I have to say it's been a good exercise for me, and I have had to look at things from a different point of view. From the testing panel, for example, and the details I've not looked at before. I've had to look at things piece by piece, as well as how they fit together into the bigger picture from the examiner's point of view. I wasn't given feedback after the test, so I'm interested in knowing if I'm on track with these observations I'm making. Thank you for your help, I really appreciate it. So that's great, and it's a really good point, all right? It really does. This is why doing your grading exam is super important, because it really gives you that, yardstick as to whether you're, is that the right term? Don't know. But anyway, it gives you that point of measurement as to whether you're on the right track or not. So what we know here is you're number 120 facing the camera. This is a test for 4th dan, by the way, 4th dan. This is a big barrier for a lot of people. We talked about it a lot. So let's have a look how you get on. We've got both your matches here, so. Okay, so you got a knee injury, which is why you can't do the full Sonkyo. That's fine. I don't think that's a problem. Nobody's gonna, everyone who sees this is gonna look at it and go, oh, okay, this person's injured, can't do the proper Sonkyo. Nobody's looking at that and thinking, oh, this guy just doesn't want to do it properly. Like, nobody thinks that. It's obvious, all right? So don't be worrying about any of that stuff. I like the way you're wearing the Borgo. It looks pretty good. Oh, so you have to do kire-kai for Potan. That's rough. Okay, so you're receiving it for first, okay. Okay, well let's skip you receiving it. I don't need to see that. I don't think that's the problem. I don't think you failed this grading on receiving kire-kai. Right. So I like the way you're wearing the Borgo, but the knot on the men should be a little bit higher. It's a little bit hard for some of us Westerners because our heads are really round at the back. I have the same problem. But with practice and shaping the men proper, it'll get a bit easier. It's just a little bit low. It doesn't want to be at the nape of your neck. They see how mine's quite round there, right? It doesn't want to be at the nape of your neck there. It wants to be like here, like level with your eye. I was a bit high there. Yeah, level with your eye, like that. Okay, that's what it wants to be, all right? You'll get an overall better shape out of it doing that, okay? It's pretty good considering it's tied too low already, but it'll be even better. That's why it kind of flays out a bit. Can you see how it kind of flays out sideways like that rather than coming a bit more forward? Anyway. Nice voice, good ki, good. Okay. Ki is good. Right, I'm going to watch this for a second before I comment too much. Your Kama is pretty good. Your footwork's good as well. Okay, that's a good point. I'm going to pick up on that in a minute. In a positive way. Right, okay, all right, right. Let's go back then. So here's a couple of issues. I don't think this tachi is that bad. All right, I think you're pretty close based on what I've seen so far. Now, we've not seen the second one yet, so we'll get to that in a minute. But here's a couple of issues I'm going to highlight, all right? Now, it's fourth dan. So it's a bit, what I'm saying now is probably a little bit harsh, but if you get it, then, getting through the exam is going to be a bit easier. So this first one, right, so first off, the way you're doing the semi is kind of good, but it still kind of looks, what's the word? I wouldn't say hesitant, but it looks non-committed. So you have this tendency to sort of semi in and then come back like this. So it's like non-committal, whereas it'll look better if you're a little bit more bold. And I'm not saying overdo the semi, don't just rush in, but once you're in here, don't come backwards. Bam, this way. Or just hold your ground if you want to, but you don't want to go, I don't know if you can see that, but you don't want to be going in, out, in, just from here, boom, semi. You don't want to be going like this, all right? Can you see that? In, out. There's a little in, out this way, all right? It doesn't look committal, So then what happens is your opponent sort of responds, and then because you sort of come back, then you have to kind of respond. And what happens is it looks now like you're matching your opponent's rhythm rather than like you're hitting men because your opponent jumped forward to hit. So this is their men, all right? You're not going to fail just on this. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to give you tips here of what's going to make the whole thing better. See you again. So this is a bit better, but it still looks kind of indecisive or hesitant in a way. I don't know how to put it. I think this was all right. Now, what I am going to address is a technical issue, all right? I think up to the men's strike point is not too bad, but then we've got this kind of upwards motion with the arms, whereas you want to, I'm not saying you have to lock them straight like this, which some people do, but this is a bit too much. Try to keep the shinai in front of you, yeah? You know what I mean? Rather than going forward with the hands a bit too high this way. All right. It does sort of look a little bit ropey in terms of zanshin. See, there we've got it again. We've got this kind of like, and it's not always that you're necessarily coming back. It's that it doesn't look like you're committed to strike here. There's this kind of, you know what I mean? But this is important, this part, right? You've got this sort of semi going on, and then they come forward and you're not ready. It's not even that you're not ready, but it's not, you know, this is absolutely fine. This is the right thing to do, all right? This is the right decision in this case, all right? One more time. Okay, I'd rather you do this than like you did in the earlier encounter where you just match them because they hit, yeah? I'd rather you do this. No, not now, okay? This is totally fine, totally acceptable, all right? This is more about you controlling the pace of the tachi now, okay? So this is a good thing for me. I don't like this non-committal semi though, all right? It's kind of bugging me. So this men was good, but because your swing is really big, your foot is landing really in advance of the shinai, so it looks disjointed. So we've got a technical issue there, all right? So don't swing the shinai as big. Keep the tip of the shinai towards the opponent as long as you can. And if anything, right, the shinai and the strike and the humikomi should land at roughly the same time. But when we watch it in slow motion, when it's done correctly, the shinai will land first, not the foot, okay? When you watch it in slow motion. So I don't want you to concentrate on hitting with the shinai before the foot, but what I'm saying is it should be roughly the same time. But what's unified is the leap forward, the humikiri, the push off from the left, engaging the body and the hips, and the strike is what's unified together. Not the exact contact with the floor of the right foot and the shinai contacting with the bogu. They don't necessarily have to be completely synchronized. In fact, like I say, if you shoot in high speed or even like this and then look at it in slow motion, the shinai should connect before the foot connects with the floor, like in a split second. To the human eye at full speed, it looks about the same time, is what I'm saying. Yeah, but when it's like this, where the foot is landing in advance of the shinai, that's why when you watch it at full speed, it looks disjointed, don, sort of like this, okay? So that's a serious technical issue, all right, that you need to consider. And then, yeah, zanshin's an issue here, all right? So this, I think it was kind of fine up to here, though try not, you see how you're jumping upwards? I want you to try not to jump upwards, but travel more forwards. And this has come from that footwork, all right? So because your foot has come down first, then your shinai's hit, and then your whole body weight's gone up from that spring from your right foot, rather than you pushing the whole body forward, the hips forward, bam, towards the opponent, like you're throwing a basketball forward. That's how a sensei used to, a sensei of mine once wrote it in a book that he wrote. But forward this way, not bam, this way, yeah? It'll change the whole dynamic of the strike, all right? And it'll just look a lot more cohesive, all right? But in any case, right, then from here, you want to keep in this Jordan position here as you go backwards. Keep in the Jordan position still, and kamae stop, all right? What you don't want to try and avoid, because it looks really beginnerish, is this retreating in Chudan, all right? It doesn't look dignified. All right, so yeah, you want to keep in the Jordan, man, then return to Chudan when you stopped, yeah, or as you stop. It'll just look better. All right. Right, this is a good kaishido. I want to watch it again though. Right, so the issue with this is a brilliant kaishido. The strike's not good enough, isn't it? Yeah? So as you strike, here, you now what I want you to do is I want you to, is my cursor showing it? It is. I want you to just, at this point, you should just run straight forward, right? But the problem is your energy is going diagonally down this way. So the shinai goes this way and you kind of end up turning your hips and turn around like this. So it doesn't look great. It doesn't look super cohesive, all right? Now, I'm not going to rag on you for doing the Kendo, yeah, which is where you turn around like to the right instead of to the left. It's not good. It's not good. But it's, you know, sometimes you end up with that momentum and that just feels more natural, right? Which is cool, all right? And, you know, there might have been someone that sort of accidentally did that in a 7th Dan exam and managed to pass, so. I think you're really close. I think you're really close to passing, right? It's just these little technical things that need cleaning up around the edges. And here is a good example of the Zanshin, right? It's a good strike overall. But again, you see how sort of feet and hands are not really synchronized? But he goes, man! It wants to be, man! To be a little bit more, you know, if you kind of do this, man, and this you can't. This isn't the Zanshin, funnily enough, right? Because this is everything winding down, man. If they attack you in that moment, this moment, you can't respond because you'd have to breathe because you go, yeah. So that Zanshin, the breathing's super important, man. Is not, man. Yeah, I know it still sort of peters off because everyone's got their own style. I'm not saying you have to do the same style of shouting as I'm saying, man, which is obviously better. Well, it's not exactly how I do it either, but you need to retain some breath is the point, yeah? Yeah, man. So you've got something in there to respond in a second. That's Zanshin, right? Because that having that extra little bit of gas in the tank, that little bit of extra breath in your lungs, that's going to keep you more spiritually aware, right? So that you're able to respond in that moment, okay? But what I'm seeing here is, man, I'm exaggerating, it's not that bad, but you see what I'm saying, yeah? It's a long tachi, isn't it? Oh, you did do kire-kai as well, didn't you? So it's like, what, a minute? So like here again. But I'm also feeling a little bit like there's a slight lack of variation going on. You know? I know you've hit men, you've hit a kote, you've done a kaishido, but like your men attacks all seem to be the same type of men attack. I'm not saying that's necessarily a reason. Right, yeah, don't do this. I understand what you're doing. In the Shiai, this can work. But it's not it, all right? Now, I get what you're doing. You tried to get him to hit kote so you could do kote nuki men. I can see that. I can see that. I don't like the setup, right? It's not quite what I'm trying to get you to understand when I'm talking about like sasoi or that kind of seme. You don't want to be like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? It doesn't want to be like that. It wants to be like, okay, I'm here now. Come on then, let's see it. Let's see it. Yeah, not like, okay, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. Not like that. It needs to be more. I hesitate to use this word, but it is the only one I can think of. But don't think too much into my choice of word language on this, but it needs to be more serious, all right? In terms of the way that seme is applied, all right? So not kind of like, not like this, but You see what I mean? Like, it's so hard to communicate. I know I'm a tiny little box in the corner of the screen, but, you know, it needs to just be that more, like, it has to have more intent to it. Not like, whoa, let's go. Not in that way, you know. You're not going to get the response you want. Yeah? You want them to hit your kote, right? Now, you're sort of basing this on a feeling rather than a plan. Yeah. And the other thing is, you don't want to dip yourself down like this. Bring your left foot up as you do it. Bam, bam. Then you want them to hit your kote, right? You want them to hit your kote as you do this, right? I'm going to give you a super secret tip now. As you do this, nice and calmly, but firmly, seriously. As you do this, millimeter by millimeter, raise the kensen as you come in. Millimeter by millimeter. Not obviously, right? Not obviously, but they'll subconsciously feel like kote is a more attractive target than men. And likewise, if you want them to hit your men, subconsciously lower the kensen as you step in. Yeah? Okay? And they will, you know, they're not going what you're trying to do is make him go, oh, look, kote is open, kote, like that, right? It don't work like that. No one's that dumb, right? You have to be more subtle. And what you have to do is affect their subconscious decisions. Yeah. I think that's the key. Now, look, what I'm talking about here is way above fourth dan level. Let's be clear, right? Let's be clear. But this kind of like peekaboo style approach to semi, it doesn't look good attached to the fourth dan label. Let's put it that way. Having said that, I appreciate the mindset and that there is an attempt to set up a waza, and that's really important. Okay, honestly, I think you're super close, at least with this tachi-ai. Okay, so again, zanshin's lacking, yeah? Okay, good. Right, now it might be you totally messed up the kire-kai, and that might be it, because I thought that tachi-ai was alright. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was okay, right? Probably I would pass that tachi-ai, actually. Probably. I mean, I don't know, though. It depends, right? It depends on the day. I'm not watching a YouTube video. It's easy for me to say that from sat here. So I also understand the decision not to, based on the things that I've said so far. But let's see what this kire-kai looks like. Right, okay, I need to go back and watch, you know, when I skipped the other guy's kire-kai, I need to go and watch it now. Wow, okay, it's the same thing. Alright, okay. I'm a bit confused about the slow kire-kai thing. Alright, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what you're being told to do, so I'm gonna leave that. Like, at fourth dan, like, I'm not going to go into this too much because there's a high probability that this is what you've been instructed to do. At the grading, do this kire-kai or something like that. In which case, ignore what I'm saying on it, right? But I don't believe you're doing kire-kai like this in your dojo. And if you are, this could be part of the problem, right? Kire-kai is a basic and essential exercise, right? Yes, but it has to have, it has to be a big movement. There's the 4 steps of a kire-kai. Is big swings. I think the second one has to be strong. Yeah, strong strikes. Then it has to be fast, and then it has to be smooth. Okay, so here we're just doing 1 and 2. Now for third dan, I want all 4, right? So in the UK, we do kire-kai for third dan. And if someone came and did like this kire-kai, this like slow kire-kai, for third dan, for me, I'd be like on the verge of failing them. I wouldn't definitely fail them, but it'd be a bit negative for me. I want to see you do the kire-kai you do in your dojo. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying you rush it. Step in, semi, man. The speed is fine, right? Man, this way, right? Like IQ shodan, something like that, I'm gonna let that slide, right? But like part of the idea of doing a kire-kai is the fact that it has to have the speed and the rhythm, yeah? Has to be relaxed and flowing. That's part of the idea of it, all right? So for fourth dan, if you're doing kire-kai, I want to see that. But massive pinch of salt there, because you've very likely been told to do it that way. But here's, okay, right. Whether you practice this way in your dojo or not, after this last yokomen here, don't use ayumiashi, right? The time between this last yokomen, which is hidari men, right, and your next shomen isn't the downtime. It's zanshin. Yeah? So you have to use the proper asabaki. I don't want you to walk, all right? And best not to like this, yeah, which is visible here, yeah? I wouldn't normally examine kire-kai for fourth dan, but I'm not even talking about for your grading. I'm talking about for your general kendo improvement, okay? If you have to breathe between your yokomen strikes, that's better than taking a break here, okay? You have to retain that connection. Okay, let's have a look at this keiko. So this partner passed, the other partner failed. Okay, this is fine, alright, didn't work how you wanted, okay. Okay, so I think there's a good example here, actually. There's a bit of a difference in the way your partner is showing connection in the zanshin. All right, and the semi. This way, right? I don't know what that noises I made, but it's made that up right now. But kind of. Yeah? Yeah? Not this kind of peekaboo style. Yeah? Here, kote, not sure if it's ippon, so does the atouchi, it's okay, fine. I'm not critiquing the other player here, I'm just want you to look at it as an example. Retains the connection for a follow-up strike. This is all good. And you know what, I like your attempt at the kaishido, right? But this whole interaction looks like you're being dominated, all right? Looks like you're being dominated. So rather than the kind of fluffed kaishido here, and I think especially this is a good point, because you know you receive the kote strike. Yeah, you receive the kote strike, you try for a kote strike, but then your zanshin is poor, right? Your footwork's poor, you're sort of walking, and you've made this massive gap between them, which is giving them the chance to do the atouchi for a start, all right? Okay, so this waza is not good quality waza, all right? So this is now a negative, yeah? And then they've come after you and you're not really ready. And again, you sort of met their energy to try and do this kaishido, but of course you're not in a position to do it, and it's not come from a point of semi. So this would have been a point where, you know, in the previous one, when they attacked at you when you weren't really up for it, you just spoiled it. This would have been a time for that, okay? No, not now, mate. Yeah, you work on my terms. But instead, this whole interaction here looks like you're being totally dominated, okay? again, right? This is a good. I like this kaishido, but you need to sharpen up the technical part of it. It's too vertical. It's too vertical, so it's not ippon. And you know what I mean? Like, and then you turn around, you're here. What you needed to do, bam, at this point, right? The shinai needs to be more horizontal than it is. It's not scooping off the front, it's bam, cutting into their abdomen, right? And then you need to run, bam, this way, run diagonally forward, straight forward, bam, turn around, kamae zanshin, yeah? Not, oh, yeah? The whole process too short. So we've got the same thing as before here. It's better. But this is the way to set up the kaishido, right? Because the problem you got here, right, is I like that you tried to set it up, but the same things happened twice. You tried to get him to hit kote and they hit men, right? So now what it's kind of demonstrating is you're not quite there yet where your seme is having the effect you want it to when you try to apply it. Now, it doesn't have to 100% of the time. That's fine. But these are the two clearest cases in each tachiai, and neither of them have kind of worked out. So again, there's a technical issue here. Yeah, in that our foot is well in advance, right? Well in advance, yeah? And here's what I'm saying. If you watch your opponent's example of the kaishido here, this is a good kaishido, you know, because they've taken the initiative here. And you see how a kensen dropped by like a few millimeters, right? So now you're subconsciously wanting to hit men. You're not going to go for kote at this point, right? It's just not natural to do so, right? And then they make the door strike. Not the best door strike in the world, doesn't matter, right? But it's a good kaishido overall because set up well, right? And then after hitting, good zanshin, straight in that direction, as I said, bam, over in that direction. Turn around, kamae. All right, this is what you want your kaishido to look more like, okay? So yeah, there's definitely an overall lack of zanshin, isn't there? Okay. Right, I actually don't hate this interaction. I like how you've controlled it, but what I don't like is then it's kind of gone all a bit awkward, all right? So I think what I'd like to see here is, all right, so you spoil it here. It just looks a bit awkward. You know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it does look a bit awkward. It looks a bit like you were a bit indecisive of what was going on. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, the overall impression of this tachiai is that your opponent is sort of, as I say, here, yeah, slightly, you know, sort of dominant. All right. Yeah. So here we go. This you don't want this one. Yeah. The problem is here, right? Problem is here. Yeah. All right, you want him to hit your men. The problem is he does. You know, all right, he missed the men. But the problem is you missed the kote as well, right? So, just I don't think that this is a good look in terms of the semekata, all right? This kind of, we want to lose that sort of peekaboo stuff, right? I've added that name to it. I don't know why, but you know, not this kind of a sort of thing. I want it to be more serious, more dignified. Is probably a better word. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Look, you're very capable of passing 4th dan exam. There's a few tweaks you need to make. All right. You need to sort out the technical issues with your kaishido and with your fumikomi. All right, because your foot is still landing way before. I tried to swing the shinai smaller. All right. Try to move the foot before anything else. All right. Watch my suburi video. Right, the video I did about suburi, most recent one, and try the type 3 suburi. Practice that like a lot. All right, and it'll help you understand how to use your left leg better in order to shift your body weight forward rather than up and down. And then it's about this, how we apply this semi. I think your first match was much better than the second one. All right, so you know, you can pass this test, man. You can pass it. Right? You're capable. Okay, I just need you to think about those few things, and then, like I said, the zanshin, what I talked about in terms of breathing with the zanshin as well. They're sort of key things, and they're going to make a big difference. Okay, but well done. Look, I'm excited to hear that you pass this test. All right, so let me know when you do, because I'm sure you're going to do it. All right, I'm sure you're going to do it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let me have a look at the text that come with it. It says, could you please consider this video for feedback? For reference, all 3 of us in the video are testing in July for our next rank. Okay, so 3 people here. We're going to be looking at 3 people. I'm the first player on the right, and I'm testing for 4th dan. Great. So this is a lot like what we just watched. The first player on the left is going to be testing for 3rd dan, and then the second player on the left is testing for 4th dan as well. Okay, as well. All right. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so did you say on the right? You're on the right. So on the right, yeah. So we've got testing 4th dan, testing for 3rd dan, and then the next person's going to be testing for 4th dan as well. Okay. All right, let's have a look here. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, right. It's fine. It's fine. I think the way you're wearing the bow is good. Both sides, pretty good. Let's watch this shotachi. For the guy doing 3rd dan, I want you to lose this habit. Okay, this habit here, all right? After, man, kamae, not straight to this one. Not straight to the, you know, like this. This is good, all right? Don't do this if you're testing, especially testing with 3rd dan. Okay, I'm feeling it's a little bit rushed, especially going for 4th dan. I want to see you more in control of what's going on here, all right? Try to avoid this left heel flat on the floor. It's really important, okay? So yeah, I want you to kind of lose this habit. This too much, okay? From a technical point of view, 3rd dan's no problem for you, all right? 3rd dan's no problem for you, all right? And as well, like, with no technical issues on the Yondan side either, all right? But this isn't a good look, this putting the shinai to the side too quickly, all right? Yeah, it's like, see, you go straight to that. Like, I don't know if they're going to pass or fail you on it, but I think it's going to kind of do the, like, you might annoy some people with that. It looks kind of cocky, you know? I don't think you intend that. I don't think you intend that, yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, you see this as well. It's good, this is good here, this, yeah. Look, the strikes are all fine, right? The strikes are all fine. I want to see... I just want to see from the Yondan side. I want to see you fight this. Like, if this is a 4th dan exam, I want to see you, like, being in more, you know, controlling the pace more. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to see you controlling the pace more. Whereas here it seems like, oh, he's here ready to fight. Okay, let's go. You know, it's a little bit rushed. A lot of your strikes are in reaction to him rather than of your own creation. All right. Yeah, so this, yeah, I mean, this third dan candidate, no problem from a technical point of view, right? And that's what third dan's all about more than anything. But I want you to throw out this dancing. Okay, right, next. So this time both of you are going for 4th dan, all right? Okay. Okay, right, so look. Okay, so there's too much like starting and stopping. All right, I am guessing from the way you've sent this video and the way it's laid out, it looks to me a lot like you are, you know, this is like a practice exam, right? All right, so I don't want to see this in the exam. Right, this is all good, and then yeah. And it happens again. Here. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to be like this all the time, but like this kind of isn't good. All right. You have to retain that mental focus throughout the entire shinsa. All right, even if it doesn't mean you have to be in the kamae the whole time, yeah. But you can, you know, you can relax a second, but you keep focus towards them. You don't go, man. Yeah, I know that's not what you're doing, but I'm exaggerating it to make my point. All right. Technically, from a technical point of view, you've got no problem, both of you, to pass 4th dan exam, all right? I just want you to take more consideration over, one, that connection between the two of you, and two, like trying to control the pace of what's going on here, right? This is a problem, this men's strike, right? Because there's no humikomi, right? It's like, this is technically weak, all right? All right, it doesn't matter if it hit or not. Like, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. No rhyme or reason for it. And then this side, you've just sort of reacted to it. Okay, it's not good. It's not good for showing that you understand that at this stage for 4th dan, you now understand that kendo is not just about who can hit the fastest. Yeah, that you understand that a waza has to be created. Right? It doesn't mean that you have to be successful at it every single time. It just means that you understand, like I say, that you're able to show, you realize that it's not a case of just hitting when you want to hit, all right? You have to interact and engage with the other side so that a datotsu, a waza, can, I like to use the word, be created, all right? Rather than happen, yeah? But you got to retain that connection between the two of you, all right? Super, super, super important. Yeah, there's far too much. I realize it's tiring. I get it. I do. But you've got to apply yourself in that short time that you have, right? I'm a little bit concerned about the technical aspects of these men strikes from this side, all right? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It looks a little bit disjointed, but it's not too bad. You see, like this in, like here, like what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Like you get to this sort of shokujin, sort of get to your sort of isoku, and then what? Like, so? You know what I mean? Like it's about, like, we don't know what's going on, and I don't feel like you guys know what's going on either. And that's the issue. Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you have a plan? It doesn't look like you do. It looks like you're stepping in there, seeing what happens, right? And then you decide you're going to hit kote, right? And the thing is, it's not a case of having a plan of saying like, okay, I'm going to step in and hit kote either. And it's also not a case of, right, I'm going to step in with this plan and I'm going to stick to it no matter what. There is an element of having to see what happens, yeah? That's part of it. But it has to be based off what's going on between the two of you rather than just what's going on in your own mind, all right? And that's what's going on here, because you've decided to hit this kote. It doesn't look in any way from this side. Now, I could well be wrong, because I don't know what's happening in your mind, right? But it doesn't look like he's particularly inviting kote here, right? I don't think he thought he was going to hit kote either, looking at the way he defended it, right? Because it's not a great way to defend kote, right? But happened, he did, and it missed completely where he defended. So he was open and he took advantage of it. Fine, that's all very well and good, but it's not like a good nukiwaza. Yeah, it's a valid one, but it's not a good one, right? Because you didn't create it; it happened. At least it's how it looks, okay? At least it's how it looks, all right? So if you feel like you did create that, then you have to try to understand why it doesn't look that way. You understand what I mean? This man was all right. This I man. From both of you, actually, is not too bad. But there's some technical issues on this side now, yeah? You see how your Humikomi is like well out of whack, yeah? So is it on this side, to be honest, yeah? I don't think that's generally a problem for you on this side. I think it's a bit borderline on this side, right? The setup for this is better, right? This is what I'm talking about here. This is a created men strike, yeah? It's your men strike on this side here. She created it here. You got this invitation here, and you got it. This is a good Debana min. All right, this is a good Debana min. The problem you got is it goes away now, because this isn't Zanshin. It has Kime. It has Kime, yeah, which is good, but then it's abandoned here. And it's just such a shame. Such a shame. All right, so. If this was the Shinsa, I'm gonna be like, oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? You have to make sure the waza starts and ends in the kamae always. Okay. Okay. All right, and then we've swapped again. So let's watch this one more time. So this time you're going for third dan, this time for fourth dan. Okay. Right. Here's the first thing I want to tell you, especially the fourth dan. I don't want you to step backwards when you stand up from Sonkyo. All right, and it's only very slight, but it's noticeable. Yeah, up and backwards. I mean, up and forwards. Okay. Right. You're very technically capable. Your left foot and hips are a little bit turned out when you do this kotemen, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. You could easily lose the sort of I-men to that, though, if they hit men in between your kote men, because you're a little bit turned. But, you know, that isn't what happened, so you're cool. I like this atoichi as well. I think that's very good, right? It's very good. But you've got to stop this, all right? Now, I said it. I don't need to keep saying it, do I? Because this is a video, all right? You can't hear me, all right? But I'm telling you now, it's a bad look, all right? Your heel's too flat on the floor. It's not good. And the left foot is too pointed out to the left, though. Okay. Do not do ski in the grading for sandan, all right? If this is a mock grading, don't do it. It's not worth it. I mean, probably there's going to be some people that just get annoyed at you and fail you for that. I wouldn't do that, but like, I'm a bit like, what is that about? There's no benefit to it, all right? There's no benefit to it. Don't do it. So again, as we said earlier, for the side going for Yondan, you have to be in more control of what's going on here. And unfortunately, it looks like the opposite a bit, right? I'm assuming we're still sort of looking at this from a mock graded point of view. This isn't how you want to approach the fourth dan grading, all right? Looking a little bit more sort of Shiai orientated. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to just say, look, and this Ayumiashi as well, walking, it's a real shame, man. It's a real shame. You know, you're very. I think you're very technically adept, and I like the way your kendo's working for the most part. I want that left heel off the ground, which will sharpen up your kamae and make your waza even better. You'll be faster even. The problem is after hitting, it looks like you just focused on hitting his borg with your shinai. Like, there's, you know, and like Zanshin doesn't matter that much, but it does. And it sort of looks lazy, right? So, yeah. Let's lose that. I think your left hand's a bit too high too. So again, I want this fourth dan candidate, I want you as well, I want you to be precious over your kamae, yeah? Don't let it go away so fast, yeah? But I want to see more control here out of what's going on. I don't want this stepping in, stepping out stuff. Stepping in, stepping out, right? Like, you're playing his game here. Yeah, you're playing his game. You have to play your game and make him play along too, yeah? Okay, there we go. So there we go. That's it. Okay, I think there's plenty covered there. All right. The fourth dan, guys, you really have to concentrate on creating the waza versus having the waza happen. All right. The technique has to be created through the interaction between you and your partner. All right. Something has to be born from that, rather than I just want to hit, so I'm going to step in and hit, okay? Oh, he was open, so I hit, right? Of course, if they're wide open, you should hit them. I'm not saying that that's wrong either. But in the grading, especially for fourth dan, right? Gradings are about showing you understand the criteria of what's required, and the criteria for fourth dan is showing you understand that Kendo isn't about random hitting or just hitting by yourself. It's about interacting with your partner. All right, that's what fourth dan and fifth dan's all about. All right, so you need to focus on that a bit more. Okay, for the guy going for third dan, I'm sure you'll be fine for it, to be honest. But as I said, the after hitting, like just letting your kamae go, well, like not having the kamae is a really bad look. And I think it looks lazy. It looks a bit arrogant. You should, you know, it's not a good. Really good players, you know, best players in the world, they really care about those sort of details. Kendo's about the details. All right, it's not about just the point of the shinai hitting with the boga. All right, and I really feel like because you know your kendo itself is technically, you know, very good. Everything's just going to look so much better if it was that much cleaner. All right, it looks so much better. All right, and there we go. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you everyone who sent in the video. If you'd like to submit a video to this show, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube like these wonderful people have. You can set it to unlisted, or you can set it to public, but don't set it to private. I can't say if it's on private. And then send me the link to mail@KendoStar.com. Please send it maybe by email. Don't message it me on Facebook and stuff if you can help it, because I'll lose it because I get so many Facebook messages. If you send it by email, I can flag it and I can make sure it goes into the production line. I do every single one of these. I think this is episode 70, and I've done every single submission. All right. So if you want to send one in, that's how you do it. Like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar, and see you next time. Bye bye.